Okay, good evening everyone. How are you? It's very nice to see you all this evening. It's a beautiful day. So welcome to Gentle Yoga. And I'd like to have a little bit of focus this evening on a topic that affects all of us at one point or another, and that's pain. So either it's pain due to an overuse injury, or could be degenerative pain due to, aging or something that's, sort of affecting your body, an illness, or, some people in the extreme have fibromyalgia where they have a pain systemically through their body, a lot of nerve inflammation, sometimes it's chronic, sometimes it's acute, and so therefore we live our lives and we sometimes have to manage it. Say, okay, I'm dealing with this, what do I do? You call your doctor, you get certain ways of dealing with it. But it's something that yoga and mindfulness can help with a lot. The whole aspect of pain has two parts to it, and the yogis had, I think it was Patanjali, said that, you have the pain itself, okay, the actual physical sensation of the pain is the first dart, like a dart of pain, bam. The second dart is the anguish about the pain, the frustration, oh God, this is awful, I hate it, it's really upsetting me. So it's the cognitive emotional part of it. So the idea is you may have to take the first dart, but you can avoid the second dart through using your practice and your skills, using yoga, mindfulness, using the body, the breath, certain techniques. Herbert Benson, with his relaxation response, which is a very famous work, Dr. Herbert Benson, has talked about how becoming quiet, becoming relaxed, really shifts the nervous system to the parasympathetic mode and allows you to be able to feel less pain, to manage it's less of an impact and sometimes quiets that pain. So some of that you know how to do already. We'll just review that tonight. And if you're a sitting meditator, you probably have noticed pain as you sit and meditate. Something starts bothering you. It's either a muscle or a joint, and it's very hard sometimes to continue. Well, one of my meditation teachers said there's a couple ways to deal with that. One is, with the breath, like that's avoiding that dart, like letting yourself calm and relaxing and keeping yourself breathing and relaxing your body. The second way to do it is to focus on it, is to notice it and like really pay attention to it, study it, learn from it, notice how, and sometimes when you put your attention on it, it starts to quiet down. Or if all else fails, and if it's my right knee that's bothering me, I just start thinking left knee, left knee, left knee, left knee, and all of a sudden I don't feel my right knee anymore. So there's lots of things we can do. You might relate to some of what I said. And one of the books I really like from John Kabat-Zinn is Full Catastrophe Living. And it's dealing with the whole catastrophe, which we have. Our lives are full of catastrophes. So this book is a mindfulness-based stress reduction program. And there's definitely exercises for being in your body, dealing with pain, dealing with anguish. So I just want to mention that. And so now what I want to do is just weave in a few of those mindfulness techniques. So if you can find yourself in a comfortable sitting position, your sitting bones, and your shoulders come up to your ears and roll them back and down. Do that a few times. Inhale them up and roll them back and down. And let your shoulders relax down. Number one is sort of starting to feel your body relaxing. Feeling your seat. Feeling the weight of your legs coming down onto the floor. And then noticing your neck, your jaw, like making sure that you can like let your jaw open. And take a moment to feel in your body, become embodied. And a couple of ways to sort of breathe. One of them is to, bring your arms up behind your head and place them behind your head and feel your whole torso and opening up, lifting the chest and feeling when you breathe in with your arms up like this, you feel the belly filling and emptying. You feel more openness. And you draw in a deep, long, deep breath, and you breathe it out slowly. And let your arms gently come down, back to your lap and onto your belly. And once again, focus on feeling the belly as you breathe. As we begin to relax the body and use the breath to engage the parasympathetic nervous system, this is a way to deal with the tension in your body that you might be carrying from chronic pain or acute pain today. So let's count down. Take in each breath, breathe in, and on the exhale, say to yourself a phrase or a number. You can say 10 and then work yourself down to 1. That's one technique. Let's do that one first. 10. You can say it to yourself. 9. Continue. 1. For me, I just finished that 10 breath diaphragmatic technique, and I already feel better. Notice how you feel right now. Has things begun to settle? Do you feel a little quieter? I'm going to do a few stretches and then I'll go to the second one. So let's just bring your arms up in front of you. Deep breath, and then flutter your fingers down. Call this like feathering. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up, and then feather your fingers down. And bring your arms all the way up and bend your left elbow and bring your right hand on top of your left elbow. This is a nice stretch for the armpit and the tricep. So take some deep breath and feel yourself opening up through that area, the side of the body, the armpit. Take some deep breaths and just gently press a little bit into that elbow so you're pressing it back. And try to keep your head up over your shoulders, so not forward, but up straight from your spine. Now leaving your left elbow up, bring your right arm down and behind you and place the back of your hand against the mid-back. This is the cow face pose. This is a great way to reposition your shoulders and relieve tension. Not ideally, some people could reach all the way down and have their fingers touch. A lot of people, including myself, cannot. If I used a yoga strap, I could connect the two. This is the strap for so I could connect the two behind me. And it helps hold everything in place. So take a deep breath. Now if you have shoulder pain, if that's where the source of your pain is, believe it or not, this is a really good way to release the muscles and open the joints and create some space in there. So now let your arms slide away from each other, your arms down in your lap, and notice how you feel. Yeah, maybe you feel like moving your neck a little bit now, a little bit different. So let's bring our arms up again, and then now bend the right elbow and place the left hand on top and stretch, open up. Feel that tricep muscle lengthening. Feel yourself beginning to relax into the stretch. Keep your chest open. Breathe. And if you like, then bring your hand behind and use your strap. And once again on this side, reach toward each other. Take a deep breath, using the breath as a vehicle to gather up the tension and exhale it all out. Sometimes we have a frozen shoulder or an impingement, and as long as you feel no sharp pain while you're doing this, just take it to the level that works for you, and then just release that stretch. Bring your arms out to the side. Bend your elbows in cactus arms. Press back. And now bring the right arm under the left in eagle arms. Looking to the side so I can see you. If this doesn't work for you for your arms, you can just place your hands on your shoulders like this. And take some deep breaths. But if this works, where you can connect your hands together, take a deep breath, and then exhale the elbows down toward the body, the chest. Inhale, exhale. Breathe into the opening between the shoulder blades that this creates. Relax. Is there some part of this stretch that you can relax and soften? Release Bring your arms out to the side for a moment in between and just pause. Arms come up again. Press them back. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze and then release that. And now bring your left arm under your right. Take a deep breath. Exhale, come down. Notice the upper back. Keep your head right over your shoulders. You're also getting a nice stretch in the wrist. And release. Nice. And then shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Ha. 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 So, again, see how your neck is doing after doing those upper body stretches. Press your ear toward your left shoulder. Allow your right shoulder to relax. Roll it back. Inhale, come back up. Press your right ear to your right shoulder. Roll your left shoulder back. Come back up again. Drop your chin to your chest and move your chin slowly side to side, coming all the way out to shoulder level, and then dipping back down again towards your chest. And then sitting up. And as we sit up now, maybe we feel a little more comfortable from stretching. The next technique for mindfulness meditation is to think of either a visual cue or a word. Now, you can picture yourself at your favorite place, a beach, sitting in a chair by the lake, and close your eyes, and as you breathe in, you begin to picture that area, that place, and you picture the sign, the view, the sounds that you may hear, the feeling of gentle breath, breeze on your face. So that can be, as you breathe in and out, that you begin to really place yourself there. The second one is a quality of being. If you can breathe in and say to yourself, I am, and on the exhale, at peace. Or I am any other quality that you would like to bring into your being right now. So let's do that for a minute. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and pick one of the two, either a visual meditation exercise or a quality of being, a state of being, and begin. begin to gently open your eyes. So now, I'd like to have you come down on your back. We're going to do some stretches for the back and some hip openers. Those are areas that often get tight. If you have a strap, bring that along with you. And lie down on your back. Coming down on the floor is a good way to start the relaxation response. Bringing your body down and extending your legs. And often a simple body scan to sort of examine your body, starting with, for example, the left foot, working your way up, the leg, the knee, the thigh, the hip, all the way up to the shoulder, the arm, elbow, and hand, the right foot, the right leg, the knee, the hip, all the way up the side of the body to the shoulder, to the elbow, to the hand and the wrist. Feel your belly, your low back, your chest and your mid-back, your shoulders and your upper back, your head and neck, face. And in this body scan, identify an area of your body that may be experiencing pain or discomfort or tension. And just bring your focus to it and relax and imagine that you can breathe and send the breath to that area. Maybe it's just an area that's tight, that's not in pain. And in that, directing your attention, send a measure of compassion and acknowledgement of this is the human condition and it's something that you are suffering from. And alleviating suffering is what our practice can do. So right now, I'm going to ask you to take a moment to begin to tense the muscles of your body and breathe in and hold the breath in. Tense the muscles and then exhale with a ha and release. You can do this one body part at a time, but for tonight, let's just squeeze and tense the glutes, the legs, the arms, the fists, the chest, the belly. Hold the breath in, squeeze, and release. Notice if something has been relieved. And then bring your feet to the floor. Reposition your back and notice your low back. You can begin to do a little spinal rocking by pressing toward the tailbone as you inhale and then onto the waist as you exhale. So as we do this rocking, staying on the floor, beginning to coordinate the breath and the movement. Your back can feel bunched up. So taking a moment to breathe in and out. Exhale, flatten the back. Inhale. Rock forward onto your tailbone and come back. As if you had the face of a clock on your back and 6 o'clock is the tailbone and 12 is the waist, and you're going back and forth between the two. And then extending your left leg and bringing your right leg in, pressing on your shin. Feeling yourself stretch the hip. Press out through that left foot, through the heel. Point the fingers toward point the toes toward the ceiling. And then draw in. Now we're stretching the psoas muscle too on the left side. So draw in the shin and firmly press it in as you exhale. Inhale, fill the belly, exhale, press. Empty out and fill up. Go back and forth at your own pace. See how that feels. Notice what's happening in the hip. And then let that left leg float up to the ceiling and bring your right ankle across the thigh. And then bring your hands to behind the left leg and draw in for both a hamstring stretch and a hip stretch. Circle your foot. Feel yourself moving those tight muscles. Bend the knee. And if you can reach for the shin and draw in even a little more firmly. Bring your foot to the floor and let's go to the other side. So let's see, the first thing we did was bring the knee in and extend the leg on the opposite side. The right leg presses out through the heel. Really stretch on the right side and really take a moment to maybe bring that left knee a little bit, an inch out, like underneath your ear, and press in. Deep breath, and draw it in as a nice deep stretch of the hip. This is very gentle, but if you have hip pain and this is too much, then please back off the stretch or make some kind of a modification so that you're just holding it out further and not causing any distress. And then now let's draw that right leg up to the ceiling and bring the left ankle across the thigh. So here we are, and we can bring our hands clasped behind our right thigh. That feels really good. And then just start stretching. Do this very slowly and mindfully. No forcing, just gentle, moving into the stretch in a very mindful way, noticing sensation. And then circle that ankle joint on the right side. One way for a few rounds and then the other way. And then draw the leg in, hold the stretch. And if you like, you can bend the right knee and reach for the shin for a little deeper stretch. You're going to feel it differently on one side than the other. Make any small micro movements that feel good. A little circling would be good. And then release the right foot to the floor and then the left foot to the floor. So now reposition your feet hip distance apart. Just notice how they feel. And begin to slowly rock your knees side to side. Noticing a nice stretch in the hip, upper, lower rib cage area. Beginning to move into a twist. Turning your head in the opposite direction of your twist. Keeping your feet planted, but actually coming onto the sides of the feet as you move your knees side to side. And then come back up to the top and pause. Just relax your arms by your side, close your eyes for a moment, and connect again with the breath. You're starting to feel more relaxed, almost sleepy. That's a good thing. So now taking your yoga strap, or if you don't have a yoga strap, you can simply bring your leg up to the ceiling and just support it with your hands the best you can, like one hand behind. We're going to begin to circle this left leg. So moving around, opening up the hip joint. Again, if the range of motion is small because you have a painful hip or you've had a hip replacement, just go with that. Let it be what it is. Let it be your stretch. So if you don't have a strap, just move your leg around and support it with one hand if you like at any point of the leg. And then change direction of the circle. Find your breath, some nice circular breaths along with the movement of the leg, opening up the hip joint, feeling it warming up too as you begin introducing all this movement. And then as you come up to the top, let the leg float out to the left at hip height or lower. And move your right hip back down toward the mat. So you can use your hand to just gently press on the right side, and your right knee is open. And allow this stretch at the groin level and the lower abdominals to happen. And breathe into it. Make any small adjustments. And then bring the leg all the way up and stretch that right leg out. I'm going to have a hard time because the boot is over here, but taking your left arm out at shoulder height and then bring the left leg across your body over to the right. Beginning to stretch the IT band all the way down to the knee. You can feel a nice calf stretch. And again, you can roll up onto your right hip almost and bring that leg even further over. But also be mindful of what area that you're working with. Is it the piriformis? You can actually even, if you have pain in there, you can actually massage it with your fist, that muscle, if it's tight and painful, and help it to relax. If you need to bend that left knee so you're not straining, make it your own stretch. Then bring your leg back up to the top and draw your foot toward your forehead, feeling now a deep stretch in the whole back of the leg. And this we're going to do a few releases. Release the stretch by bending the knee deeply and then draw it again. You see you get a little bit more perhaps stretch and release in that muscle. It's the 3 R's, resist, release, and re-stretch. Each time you might feel a little more freedom in that stretch. A lot of tension in the hamstring that you can, starts right up at the top. You can even tap if you want to release fascia. And then release that stretch. Bring your foot down to the floor and stretch your leg all the way out. Pause for a moment and feel that left side as compared to your right. And notice what you feel. I feel that this side is more in contact with the floor, like it's heavier, it's more relaxed. Now we're going to take the stretch onto the other side. So loop the strap around your right foot. You can bring your left foot on the floor and then begin to circle this leg around, starting slowly, mindfully. So if you're paying attention to your body, you're feeling the sensation as it changes, and you're noticing anything that you might need to know about your body. That's the difference. Yoga has the element of mindfulness. Now change direction and body awareness, and the element of your spirit, how this makes you feel. What feelings are lurking beneath the surface? I'm smiling because sometimes it's feelings of happiness, not always pain. Nice feelings. And then bring your leg up and let it float out to the right. You might feel a little euphoria. Let that left hip anchor back down. Breathe and let the stretch happen. You could always bring your meditation mantra back. I am at peace. I am calm. And then bring your leg back up, extend your left leg, bring the strap in your left hand, and then roll that leg over. You can roll onto that hip. Bring your right shoulder back down, and you can turn and look at your right hand to create a twist through the cervical area, upper back, all the way down to the tailbone. Breathe, relax. Can you relax something like your left foot or your right shoulder? your foot now toward your forehead, stretching the hamstring on this side. And then releasing the stretch, bending the knee deeply and re-stretch. And again, slowly and mindfully bringing yourself back up, even a little deeper. And then try a little tapping behind the calf, behind the knee gently and around the hamstring, right around the glute. And again, notice how that affects your range of motion. Release your foot to the floor. Bring your arms down by your side. I'm just gonna, sometimes your body sort of tells you what to do next. In this case, I'm feeling my legs coming together, pressing out through the heels, long arms. I feel like coming into a fish pose. My thumbs are under my glutes, so I'm gripping the floor with my hands. I take a deep breath and I come up onto my sitting bones, lifting the chest up off the floor, back of the head on the floor, shoulders back. Take some deep breaths. Allow yourself to lengthen your legs, open the heart and the throat and breathe. Pressing on your elbows and forearms, strong in fish pose, relaxed. And then gently sliding your head back down to the floor and releasing the pose. Notice how you feel. So I'm going to roll over now. This class is going by fast. I don't know about you, but I had a lot more things planned, but I would like to do, if we were all together in the room, I'd say, okay, what would you like to do? Because one of the things I planned was us to do a downward dog and a mountain pose, which I think is a really good stretch for the body. I was going to do some lunges and a warrior pose. So I think what we do is we see how we feel after we've gone through certain things, and always listening to your body. So that's what yoga is. It's not about forcing a march through different poses. It's like, okay, what does your body now will receive? I love pigeon pose. I don't know if you do as well, but that's a nice pose. So if we came onto all fours, and we do a few cat and cow tilts, take a deep breath, drop the tailbone round the back, inhale, lift the tailbone, extend, and let's go back and forth. This feels good after opening up the hip joints. And then I am going to curl into a curl toes. Feel your feet and curl toes and come into downward facing dog, pressing the floor away, bringing your tailbone back up and then slightly down. Long spine, shoulder blades down the back. Bend one knee and then the other. We're stretching the legs again, but this feels really good. And just allowing your body to relax into the breathing. Having an inversion is always good for the nervous system. And then bringing the knees down to the mat. And we'll come to pigeon from table. So you bring your left knee forward between your hands. And your left foot comes slightly in front of your right thigh. Hands under your shoulders. Scoot your left leg back behind you as you settle your hips down, grounding into the floor. And then lift the chest and press the hips forward. So the right hip comes forward a little bit and the left hip comes back. So you level your hips. So as we are now in a pigeon pose, see if you can bring yourself down toward the floor. Lift the chest. And then walk yourself forward over your leg. Walk yourself back up. So I'm going to do it this way, all right? On the other side, pigeon pose is a slight back bend. So you bring the right knee forward now, between the knees, and then scooch the left leg back behind you. Now you are on your hands, lifted into pigeon pose. And as you exhale, you can see if you can just ground down a little bit. If you have a block, you can put it right under that hip. And this is an upright pigeon, a really nice deep stretch for the hip, coming forward into a reclining pigeon, letting yourself round down over that right leg and hip. Taking some deep breaths in the pigeon pose. You can also do pigeon on the back. Coming back up into upright pigeon. Curl the toes under. Bring yourself back into table. Spread your knees wide and come back into child. So if you come into a nice child pose, and breathe in child. Let go. Bring yourself back up and back onto your back. And once again, with a nice flat back, bring your arms and legs up to the sky. Position your shoulder blades back. Press the heels up. And bring your legs right over your hips so they're not towards your hands or your head. They're right over your hips, straight. And relax for a moment. Feel your torso relaxing. wiggle your fingers and toes. And draw your knees in for a nice hug. Massaging your low back, begin to circle your knees. Circle them both ways. You decide how many times you want to go in one direction, and then how many times you want to go in the other direction. Let it be one leg versus the other. Bring the knees together and apart. Let your body tell you what you'd like to do right now. You can scissor your knees, pressing one forward and then the other, or your legs. Let this be a moment for you to explore the stretch on your back. Maybe you can bring your legs apart, bend your knees and reach for your sides of your feet into a happy baby. And then bring your feet down to the floor. And before your Shavasana, which is going to be brief tonight, lift your hips into bridge pose and press your feet into the floor. And then lower down. Let's do bridge up and down a few times. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up and hold for a couple breaths. Exhale down. Inhale up and arms come up overhead. Exhale down, arms come down. Inhale up, arms come up, hips come up. Exhale down. Inhale, hips up, reach hands together and clasp them underneath your glutes. And breathe and hold the bridge. Squeezing again, squeezing tight muscles. Alignment is important. Don't let your knees splay out. Long neck. And then when you release, come down from the top to the bottom with control, one vertebrae at a time. And when you reach the bottom, relax and feel a sweet release of tension. And now I'm going to ask you to just bring yourself into Shavasana. I'm going to read a poem and let you have a few moments of peace. This poem is titled, "The Door is Always Open." Fear, pain, dark moods, despairing moments, and our plentiful distractions. The human drama plays through me as it always has, with one abiding difference. Knowing what I am opens a door to truth. Sometimes I step across that threshold, and sometimes I don't. But the door is always open. The door is always open. find your breath and allow yourself to slip into quiet. And begin to deepen your breath. Just staying in your rest, but drawing a longer inhale and a longer exhale. Feel your whole body on the floor, the front of your body, the back of your body, the sides of your body, the back of your head. And breathe into your whole body. Sending love and healing to any place that's needed. Now rolling over onto one side and pausing on your side, cradling your head in your arms and curling up with your knees drawn in a fetal position. Just hang out with yourself for a moment. Take some slow breaths and sigh them out through your mouth. And when you're ready, bringing yourself up to a seated position. Taking a moment to position your body once again with the shoulders relaxed, chest heart open. Bring your shoulders up to your ears, squeeze and just release with a soft. Take a moment now to bring your hands together over your heart and lower your chin down toward your chest. Close your eyes and look at that open door that's there for you at all times. That threshold into truth.